Hello, everybody. Welcome. Oh, let me just adjust the height a little bit. It's chopping off the top of my head. There we go. Great to see you. Thank you for your time in being here. So today, just to clarify, we're streaming live on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. We're also on my Results Mastery podcast, which is also on iTunes, Amazon Music, and about 30 other streaming sites. So today we're going to hopefully impact somewhere between about 7,000 and 8,000 people, which is really, really cool. That's been my aim in my business since I started it when I was 28 years ago. Was to help as many small businesses as I could, because I recognized how tough it was, how difficult it was running a small business. The big businesses have got plenty of people to help them. They buy that help in, left, right, and center. Whereas often in a small business, you're an expert probably in what you do operationally, whether it's repairing cars, coaching people, running HR departments, or whatever skills you've got operationally. But the biggest problem with small businesses is there are two other real major skills that you need. One is on the financial side, and the other is on the sales and marketing side. And often people are not very good at managing the finance. They have an accountant who tells them how well they did last year. And on the marketing side, they sort of tend to wing it and do it whenever they can, and have often done very little sales training and often zero marketing training, believing that they can run this successful business. Anyway, let's talk about what we're here to talk about, and that is how to pay more tax. Now you might be thinking, well, that's a bit weird, Steve. What are you trying to tell me about trying to pay more tax? I want to pay less tax. No, you don't. You want to pay more tax, because why do you pay tax? Where does tax come from? It comes from profits. Yeah. So if you make 10 times more profit, you're going to pay 10 times more tax. Actually, if you've got a good accountant, perhaps you won't pay 10 times more tax. But one thing I will tell you as well, if you've got a bad accountant, you're probably paying 10 times more tax than you should be right now. Because these people, not all accountants are the same. Would you believe that? Just like most business owners, more people, there are so many people set themselves up as a, marketing expert. They've been a marketing manager for Vodafone and, for 20 years, then all of a sudden they're going to be a marketing expert in the small business market. And it simply isn't true. But, enough of that really. But, I just want you to appreciate that. I spent 28 years doing this, and I learned my skills by learning from, spending money and time with the world's leading sales and marketing experts. And I'll pass on that information to my small business clients. And I still do that to this day. Every day, 7 o'clock to 7:30 is marketing and sales training time. I do that every day. And I sometimes do additional training as well at lunchtime and in the afternoons occasionally and in the early evenings and so on. So, nothing could be better in terms of paying more tax than making more profit, in my opinion. But anyway, let's talk about that. How are you going to do that? How are you going to pay more tax? How are you going to make more profit? Really, it's very simple. It's not easy, but it is simple. You've got to reduce costs. You've got to increase sales. That's it. Assuming those sales are profitable. If you make more sales, you make more profit. If you reduce your costs, you make more profit. So, my first piece of advice is go and save some money. Go and look at what you can do in your business to save money. So that you do pay more tax, but you also make a lot more profit. You're only going to pay a small proportion of that to the tax man, bless his heart, even though you know how well he spends it. But that's another story. But, seriously, go and look at what you're spending money on. And if you don't know, go and make a list of everything, make a list of every single item that you spend money on a monthly basis, and maybe even that you've spent money on in the last 12 months, and then work out what you can do to spend less of it. That just makes first, sense really. However, there's a limit to it, isn't it? Even if your costs are $1 million a year and you manage to save 20%, that's pretty good. That's 200 grand more profit. But you know what? There's only so much. You've got to spend something. And even if you don't spend anything at all, which I'm sure is impossible, then you'd still only be able to make £1 million. He says only. That'd be quite nice, wouldn't it, for most people? So that said, let's look at the other side of it in terms of increase in sales, right? How can you increase sales? Well, there are only really three ways. Again, business, it's not complex. It's fairly simple, but understanding it, a lot of people don't, because they've never done any training in it. So number one, simple. You're all going to know this. You got to get more customers. You get more customers, you get more business. It's as simple as that. Number two is you increase what's known as the average transaction value. That's the average amount of money each customer spends. So you could do that multiple ways. You could sell them larger units of sale. McDonald's are brilliant at that, aren't they? They're employing 16-year-olds. And when you walk in the McDonald's and say, could I have a Big Mac, please? They say, yeah, is that a Big Mac meal? You go, oh, yeah, go on. And would you like to go large? Yeah, okay, yeah, I'll go large again. What have they just done? They've just sold you twice as much as you intended to buy when you first walked in the door, by employing 16-year-old young men and women who have not really had any sales training. And yet I wonder how much that makes for McDonald's in a year. I would submit it is many, many, many multiples of millions of pounds, dollars, yen, or whatever the currency is, euros. Okay, so what's your version of that? What's your version of, do you want to go large and do you want chips with it? Is there anything you could package together, and try and increase sales? Or you could just put your prices up, couldn't you? Instead of charging £5 for a hamburger, let's put it up to £5.50. Would that make any difference? Do you know what? For 99% of people, the answer's probably not. So, you could put your version of a hamburger up. You could sell higher quality gear and so on and so forth. So the next one, because I said there was three, is to increase the frequency of repurchase. In other words, to get them to come and buy from you again and again and again. So this is great in the coaching, consulting, advisory world of developing a program, and that could be a 6-week program, or it could be a 6-month program. It could be a 12-month program, or it could be a 5-year program. Guess which one you're going to make the most money from? Probably. And that is the 5-year program. So why limit yourself to the other programs? Perhaps you could or should extend your 6-week program out into a 12-week program. What have you just done? You've just doubled the amount of money that you're going to take for the program. Just worth thinking about these things. So quick question. Which one's the hardest to do? And the answer is number one. Number one's the hardest to do. It's harder to get it's harder to get a new customer than it is to get your current customers to spend more, because they already know, like, and trust you. They know, like, and trust you. Why else would they be buying from you if they didn't know, like, and trust you? And when you're trying to sell to a stranger, somebody who doesn't know you, they don't like you yet because they've only just met you, and they certainly don't trust you because you're a sleazy salesman or saleswoman. So we've got to get them over that level. So that's the issue. Now, let me just tell you this, because I just watched a video. It was a video that I thought, wow, what a simple message. and yet incredibly powerful. I love simple things. When people make things simple, when they're training people or advising people, it's much more powerful than when they make it really complex and everybody goes away not really understanding what it is they're talking about. So simple. I'm looking down because I've written it down. And this guy said, the problem is, it's not that you're not making enough money. The problem is you're not making enough offers. Just let that sink in for a minute. If you've got a problem, and your problem is right now, you're going, do you know what? We're just not making enough money. We've not got enough sales. We've not got enough business. We're struggling to pay the bills. Why is that? It's because you're not making enough offers. What offers? Offers to new customers, offers to current customers to increase their average unit of sale, offers to current customers to get them to buy more often from you. You know, in the supermarket metaphor, this is about getting more people in the door, getting them to fill their baskets more, and get them to fill it with more expensive products, and then getting them to come back more often so that you use your supermarket rather than somebody else's supermarket. That's the whole ball of wax. So if you're not making enough money, it's probably because you're not making enough offers, or you're not making the offers to enough people. Let me ask you a question. How many offers have you made in the last month? How many times have you gone into the market? You've perhaps maybe emailed your current customers, you've phoned your current customers, you've messaged your current customers in some other way, text or whatever, making them an offer in the last month. What about the last quarter or the last year? How many times? Because you should be doing this on a regular basis. And to be honest, most businesses don't. They don't do enough. It's as simple as that. The number one reason for lack of marketing success is lack of action, in my opinion. And I've been doing this for 28 years. So if that's the case, we want to be doing more to the people that we've got. Yeah, you get that? So I've got a group of customers and I need to be marketing to them more. I've got a group of prospects and I need to be making more offers to them as well. You get that? Okay, now here's the icing on the cake. If you could increase the number of offers, the number of people that you make offers to, would that help you to grow your business? Let me give you an example. Let's say I've got, I don't know, I'll use 10,000. I've got an email database of 10,000. And every time I mail out to them, which I do on a weekly basis, every month that brings in, let's say, 20 grand's worth of business. If I manage to grow that database, the people I'm sending messages to, from 10,000 to 100,000, i.e. 10x in it, 10 times as many, do you think there's a remote chance that I might grow my business by 10? Do you think, you know, if sending it out to 10,000 equals 20 grand's worth of business per month, sending it out to 100,000 could potentially equal 200 grand a month. Now, it might not work quite equally because maybe these people are new and some of them are not going to be as warm to me as they could be. But I think, you know, give or take 10%, maybe even 20%. Wouldn't it be awful if you grew your business from 20 grand a month to 150 grand a month? Because Steve wasn't right. He didn't hit the 200. That'd be terrible, wouldn't it? You know, I say that very tongue in cheek. You know, so it's just something to think about there. And do you know what? I think what I've just told you there in the last 15, nearly 16 minutes is worth its weight in gold. It's worth its weight in gold. Now, you know, the key, though, the biggest problem that I have, this is my biggest problem. People don't take action. You if you're like me, you're sat there thinking, do you know what? That was so valuable because it was. And it's not me, it's not my idea. It's just something I learned from somebody, from one of the world's leading marketing experts. I'll tell you who he is. His name's Dan Lok, L-O-K, multi-millionaire, over 100 million a year turnover. Do you think he's got a rough idea what he's doing? Yeah, absolutely it is. So, I learn stuff from people like that and then pass it on to my clients and prospects and so on. But if you go away from here and go, oh, well, yeah, that was really interesting, Steve. And yeah, I can see the potential. And then you go back to doing the same old, what's going to happen to your business? I can tell you exactly. Nothing. Actually, I'm going to say it's even worse, because if you keep doing what you've always done, you're not even going to get what you've always got, because we're in tough times, aren't we? So we need to do something. And what I want you to do, what I hope you'll do, is I want you to talk to me about how I can help you further, because I can. You've just, you've had the tip of the iceberg literally from me. You've had 15 minutes of my time, and I've just shown you all you need to do to go and grow your business 10x. And wouldn't it be awful if it only doubled? But there's a huge opportunity in what I've said. But I want to help you more. And what I want you to do is to book a meeting with me. Go to my website, steve-mills.com, and use one of the gold buttons there to book a meeting using my online diary. We can then have a conversation, half an hour over Zoom. You don't have to travel anywhere. And you can decide whether working with me and being part of my results mastery program, which is a 12-month program, is something that you want to do. Now, it comes with a 10 times return on investment. So the program itself is £299 a month. I want to tell you that up front. If you do pay up front, you get it for £3,000, which is a saving of £588. And it comes with, as I've said, a 10x return on investment. So if you don't make at least £35,880, then I'll give you your money back. I can't be fairer than that, I don't think. I know you're going to make a lot more than that. The trouble is you don't. So I'll give you your money back if you don't. That's assuming you take action. If you sign up and don't attend the training and don't take any action, and then you come to me for your money back, you're gonna, you got no chance. Okay, you need to take action. I want people who are going to take action and are committed to growing their business. That's what's going to get results. So that's it. Thanks ever so much for listening. Don't forget, I'm doing these every day, Monday to Friday. Get yourself on the next one, and hopefully I'll be able to share with you some more tried, tested, and proven ideas to grow your business. Thanks for listening.